Hey everyone, and welcome to my Skylines series. I've got myself a big city here with 150 odd thousand people, and I'm going to be going through just what's going on in the city before we hit the actual episode. This is just the introduction to my episode, to my series, and over time I'm hoping to regenerate the entire city. I recently got the Industries DLC, so I'll be redoing that, and the food industry, the wood industry over here, and so on and so forth. But let's just go over the entire city as a whole first. So we started over here in Aspen River, which is a tiny little, peoples over here, which is just low density. We've got ourselves offices north and south, offices and business over here, general goods over here, and I think general living over here as well as our food, general living here, more offices, and obviously our ore and our food land over here. So over here we've got ourselves a planned community, I guess you could say. It's supposed to be people living in here, and there's going to be no factories and whatnot, is the plan anyway. However, there are quite a few things that are going on with the city, and I'll outline them one by one. First off, we've got ourselves, of course, the ore and the food and wood somewhere else. So with our Industries DLC, we can change things up. If we look in here, we can change things up, but I do need to actually slowly regenerate this thing into a new thing, because otherwise I'm going to lose a whole stack of money. Although with $11 million, I can afford to keep up a little bit more. The second thing I'd like to fix up is the public transport system. So you can see here, I've got a few buses here, I've got railway lines going through here, or monorail, no, not monorail, I've got, what do you call them, I have metro, that's the one, going through here. I've got metro going all the way around here, although they're not very well used, and metro going through here. So realistically though, if you want to go from, say, up here to down here by public transport, you'd have to get on a train to this station here, get on another train to here, get on a third train to here, get on a fourth train to here, and get on a fifth train out to here. So that's 5 different trains just to travel from one end of the city to the other. So what we'll be doing is setting up a few hubs, train hubs as well. So that'll be another priority. Another priority that we want to fix up is our road system. So if we change over to our roads, you can see here a lot of these cars, if we go to routes actually, a lot of these cars from here want to transfer all the way through here and to our left district over here and our left district over here, but most want to leave the city. Now our highway is really busy at the moment because we've got four intersections, I think, of 4 different highways. We've got one in the north, one in the south, one in the east, and one in the west. If we come out of here and go to our first person, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 highways, and at some point I'll buy up these when I've got a bit more money. So they all meet here. So realistically, if people want to get from here to here, they have to go through this middle bit. And unfortunately, this highway here is also having to cope with being one of our main highways north-south. Our other one here is really more of a regional highway, so it's not taking as much traffic, and it probably doesn't need to be as big. But there you go. So that's another problem that we're going to have to solve. And I even had to put in a relieving highway on this side to cope with the amount of traffic going north-south. Lastly, we want to make sure that we don't run out of money. We want to keep ourselves a reasonable rate over here and keeping ourselves in the green as much as possible. So that is something that we'll need to keep a track of. We do have $11 million, and I believe that as we lose money or as we spend our money, the amount of money we're making back will start going up. Because for some reason, citizens don't like giving money to a city that's rolling in it. Now, back on the topic of public transport, we do have a rather terrible rail system, or cargo rail system, that's going through here. So I've got a train about, which my friends hate. We've got ourselves a rather janky system over here with 3 or 4 different lines all trying to get to different points. And similarly with our rail system, if we go back out here, we've got several rail links. So we've got, I think, a rail link there. Yeah, it's a bit hard to see actually. So if we come in, we've got a rail link there, a rail link going out that way, which so 2 of those are both coming into 2 of those, and they're mostly coming out to the left. We've got one which links around through here and then south. So we may, and then one there. So that's 1, 2, 3 in the south and 1 in the east. So similar to the road, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we may end up, if we can, where's my rail link? If we're able to, because I think I got one of the mods that allows us to do that, is if we are now allowed to make, where's my rail link again? We are now allowed to make city connections outside of the map, like so. Hopefully that works. I don't know if it will, but we'll see. Let me just refund that. So that's generally what we've got over here. We've got ourselves a reasonably poor city design, which is just slowly grown over time to be, yeah, it's just all over the place. So the general idea is we're going to try and have population centered around the river and move our industries across to here somewhere. So yes, we'll try and move our industries over here and have them all interconnected and then going out to 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll try and fix up our highway system, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. At some point we'll buy up these pieces of land when we've got a little bit more money to play around with, and we will have to probably at some point put in a little bit more electricity. So up on the top left we've got ourselves a water connection, and most of our water things, and I don't know why they're trashed. Oh yeah, this is one of the downsides of this, because I've done that. I need to actually put a little bit more things. So there we go. So that's our water collection. We're going to have our cargo production over here, I reckon. If we come over on the top left, we probably will try and keep this up here, and we'll expand the population out here. And we will need to do population highways. So this one coming from left to right over here is a good one. It just links up down here. So that's probably a good one to try and expand. But the main idea is that this north-south one will have to be a little bit better, and this east-west one will have to be better as well. So these outside connection ones will need to carry the main load, and then I'm going to want to have regional highways, I suppose, or lesser highways coming through. Probably one across here, maybe one across north-south, and another one north-south over here. So we'll see how we go, but quite a few things to go through and fix up. So over the next couple of months or so, or weeks, or however long it takes, we're going to be trying to fix up one thing at a time, or at least make a little bit of progress. And another thing I should probably note is that over time there'll be quite a few adjustments, and there may be big progress jumps in between each episode, because I'll be playing this reasonably often and sometimes streaming to my friend, but not on YouTube, and doing other things. So we'll see how we go. So that's generally what we're going to go for. We probably will also do a few more cargo links. I suppose what we can do up here as well is do cargo airports, because that might relieve the train traffic that we've got on the road traffic and all that. Because our major problem with our transit is trucks. All these trucks are just trying to go out. If we take out our road link again, we'll just, where is it? That one, that one. There we go. So if we take our junctions, routes, there we go. So you can see most of the trucks just want to go in there for some reason. They just want to come into here and supply more stuff. I think that's just they were coming off the highway. So yeah, there's a lot of things, import, export, and all that needs to be fixed up. A lot of them want to go into there, a lot of them want to go into there, a fair few want to go south. So there is quite a few problems going on, and we do need to fix it up. In fact, I probably should see how much of my traffic actually just wants to go through the city. And so that answer to that is not much. So so we'll figure it out. There's quite a few more things to be worked out as we go on. So let's hopefully over the next little while, you'll be able to join me as I hopefully fix up the city and make it a lot better. The last thing I should note as I follow this train through its underground tunnel is that we're a bit of on a journey. We are trying to get to 500,000 people, if not more, so that is going to require quite a lot more. It's going to require a lot of planning and making sure that the city can actually cope with 500,000 or even more people. So that is going to be something that we do need to bear in mind as we... Why is this train a bit junky? So there we go. It's going to be something that we have to keep in mind. For city planning, we're going to have to do a lot of public transport, I think. Some of my lines are not coping, and some of them are barely being used, so that's something that we do need to keep in mind. So a little bit of future planning, a bit of future proofing, and a lot of building yet to go. So hopefully you'll join me over as I go through this little project, and we might as well just follow this train to the end. It's a really long tunnel, but it does end up at one of my cargo stations, and there might be a few trains in the way. I suppose with the camera they didn't really have to render underground, since no one's going to be silly enough to build a mod that goes underground, until they did, obviously. So, come on. I forget how long this train is. Let's speed it up a little bit. And I think we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. There it is. I suppose it's all light in all tunnel. There we go. Come on. You forget sometimes how the angle, because this is not the best angle in the world, but this should lead to another cargo station up there, and it should start unloading its huge amount of cargo. And if we come out, there it is. So thank you for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully you'll join me as I go through the next little while of rebuilding, rejigging, and reconnecting this city to a much better and much stronger and much more viable city in 2. So I'll see you soon. Goodbye.